is your girl, Raisha the Finisher, and welcome to Say What, Say What. Unfortunately, your girl Toya the Boss could not be with us today, but she may vibe in a little later, we'll see. But right now, we are bringing back part 2 of Let's Talk Relationships and Dating. And if you watched last week's episode, it was fire, right? Conversation was so good and eclectic that we really did not want to end the discussion. Literally, we could have kept going all night. We actually did, but y'all just didn't see that part. So we're back again for part 2, and we have special guests again here with us. Shedrick Johnson.
What's up, what's up?
Chevy Vandyke.
What's happening?
All right. Listen, they are ready to continue the discussion, and let's get deep and dive into it. Again, if you are following the page, make sure that you like and comment and join the discussion. This is a topic and conversation that everybody should want to join in on. You're going to get a man's perspective, and since I'm the only lady riding the wave today, you're going to get my perspective as well. And trust me, it's all going to be good because we all think differently, so that's what makes it so smooth, right? So you want to be around different people, and you might want to learn things. If you're single out there, you can learn a little something. If you're looking to be married, you might be able to learn a little something, at least from our perspective on how we see things and view things, okay?
Right.
Everybody thinks differently, but that's what makes life so cool. So, whatever. Look, join the discussion every Thursday at 7 o'clock p.m. Make sure you spread the word. Tell a friend, tell your cousin, them to tune in every Thursday on our Say What page. There's going to be brand new topics and discussions weekly. And you never know what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into a little bit of everything. So let's get back into it. Last Thursday, we talked about what the things would be that would turn you off. We talked about that. We talked about what are you looking for when you're dating. And then we also discussed a little bit of what is wifey material or marriage material, husband material, things of that nature. And is there a difference between the two? So, today, we're going to talk about a little bit about the difference. We're going to talk about sex, intimacy, all that good stuff, okay? Especially for your man. You know, y'all love it, okay? And some of you ladies, y'all do too. Some of y'all, that's all y'all want. It just depends on the time of the day.
Right.
So, let's dive into that. So, last time, again, we talked about what would turn you off, what you are looking for in a significant other, somebody that you're just having fun with. I believe, if I'm thinking correctly, you said respect as far
respect.
as somebody that you're looking for, and you said loyalty.
Loyalty, honesty.
And honesty.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us had agreed to those same concepts of the main keys to what you're looking for when you're looking for a mate or significant other. We all want respect. We all want loyalty. We all want honesty. Those are the thing, and communication. Those are like the top keys to a successful relationship, whether it be dating or whether it be long term.
Right.
You still want those things to balance it out. So today, what I wanted to ask you is, before we get to the juicy stuff, what makes a man or woman cheat? What do y'all think about that? What makes a man or woman cheat?
A man or a woman.
Man or woman. So for you guys, because I'm talking to us, you fellas,
Okay.
what do you think makes you cheat?
Me?
Not you in particular, okay?
Me?
But what would make a man want to cheat? I've heard so many different things, like they just like to try something new.
No. In most cases, men cheat just because they're bored.
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 Interesting.
It could be boring. The relationship could be boring. Then it could be a lot of anger going on in the household or with the woman. So he like, hey, I got to step out and find some peace of mind. Yeah. So I think it's peace of mind. That's probably one of the reasons.
Peace of mind adding controversy to your relationship? I mean, because that will create some drama.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but
if it's already there from a male perspective, then you know, when you ask the question, I'm thinking about the old school song by Sherelle, "Everything I Miss at Home," right?
Right.
Okay.
So if y'all start out on a certain lane and then y'all go someplace else with it, like you know, time is pulling at y'all or whatever, you know, y'all not necessarily doing the things that y'all used to do,
Right.
right? What ends up happening is those stressors come in, and you know, most men ain't about to sit in the house,
Right.
unless they just sit in the house with one of these. Or,
Yeah, unless you got your drink at the crib.
scoot in a little bit closer to me.
Gotcha.
Like we ain't got you all in the camera.
Right.
We love each other. We all love each other.
But that goes to play with the peace, because if your house is not peaceful,
Right.
you want to be outside the house.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's a good thing to do, but that makes you go somewhere where you're getting some peace at. So you might go out and cheat because you end up going somewhere to be around a person who makes you happier than you are at home.
So another factor too that people need to take into consideration, I think the villain guy from Atlanta that most women don't like, the relationship guy.
Are you talking about the one that had two?
Kevin Samuels.
Yeah.
Him.
He touched on like the ratio, and I always would bring the ratio up of available black men to available black women, right? So, you know, if the ratio is something like, we just say 10 to 1,
Okay.
you know, if that guy goes out the house and he's sitting at the bar by himself, you got 9 other eligible sisters out there, you know what I'm saying? So that's intense pressure.
But
on
isn't the same with women? I mean, there's a lot of men out here too, and
not the
there's a lot of men
difference with
who
women.
don't care about being the sidekick.
It's a lot of men don't mind being a sidekick for sure. But I'm just saying, like, I'm speaking from the pressure that will come, like, you know, like from that dude walking out the door. I mean, I get hit on at the grocery store. So
At the Walmart, at the Kroger.
you know what I'm saying? Don't walk around.
Ladies are.
Look,
That's a new pickup spot.
You're
The Walmart and
searching
the Kroger.
at the grocery store. Oh, he's
Right,
a family man. He likes to cook. He's at the grocery store. Ooh, good
to your point a second ago, when I was with my ex, we were engaged. She had big stupid engagement ring. We would go to places like TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I would have my work badge on because I'm coming straight from work.
Okay.
And for some women, that's a check off the list right there. You know, he's already proven that he's stable.
Willing to settle down.
Right.
And willing to settle down and all this. I got 2 of my checks off right now. She gonna have to take that L.
Ooh.
And they was stepping to me like coming to me with like, do you think my boyfriend would like this? Like holding up lacy type stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
He'll like it. He definitely don't like those.
You know, with the stuck shit. So, but yeah, when you getting back to the question, what would drive a man to cheat? Like, I just wanted to emphasize that there are intense pressures, like everywhere, work environment, whether you out shopping for groceries, you could even be out with your girl. She'd be like right over your shoulder. I'm sure Bro can attest to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So basically, a man will cheat because there's opportunities for them, more opportunities for them.
No.
Meaning, like, there's a lot of eligible women.
No, a man will cheat because he's unhappy in the home. It's something pissing him off.
Right, he's unhappy,
not there.
but then he
Something
also
like
said
that.
that he could be with a woman and women just throw themselves at him.
That's true, but see, we don't take him when a man cheats. Let me tell y'all something. We don't. It's no emotions behind it. It's pretty much just sex. That's really what it is. It ain't like I'm about to go and be with her. You want to go back home to your girl.
She was something
Yeah,
to
I mean, I've
You want to go
heard-
back
I've
home to
heard
your
of
girl. So pretty much the girl that he's cheating with, hey, he's just doing that just to knock her off of that thing.
And to your
Be honest with you.
And to your point, each too, you know, when you said what you said, I was reminded of the book, like men are from Mars, women from Venus. Like when we say certain things, like it registers differently, right? So when you said what you said, the first word popped in my mind like the Terminator was greed, right?
Because you want your cake to eat it too.
Yeah, I'm older now, you know, so you know it's quality over quantity.
Right.
You know,
that quality matters though.
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't cheating right now. I ain't with nobody right now. But at the same time, back in the day, I was a serial cheater. Now, it's, you know, I'm older. I don't even think about stuff like that. I'm worried about disease. I'm worried about, you know, you getting with somebody that got a crazy boyfriend or, you know, crazy situation. And next thing you know, you end up
Or
on
they
the news.
themselves might be crazy.
You end up on the news just because you're trying to get some, you know, some wound.
And that's true. And I think from a woman's perspective, most women, when you decide to step out on your significant other, it's definitely more emotional than what a man would do. Like you said, a man can see it, and it's nothing to do with emotions. You can sleep with the woman, and then the next day you ain't thinking about her. But for a woman, it's definitely.
I might have to disagree. We disagree on not thinking about it. We can think about it.
Think about it.
I know some predator ass women out there.
Oh, so he's saying that she might put it down really good, and then
You
he
might-
might be like,
You'll think about
it was nice over there.
So you get a lot of sisters out here that are like liberated, you know what I'm saying?
They're free.
Yeah,
They're just,
they free.
hey, baby, you're looking
You
good
know,
tonight. I
and
mean,
we'll
hey,
step to you like
Yeah.
I want you.
Yeah, like what you got up for tonight? you know, yeah, that'll happen.
Then you looking like, she's
And that's the pressure that I'm talking about, because it's like, you know, like as a man, how do you resist that? You got to be a strong man.
You gotta be strong. I mean,
Definitely.
females actually pick you up in the bar nowadays.
Yeah.
You sitting at the bar of your drink, females come up to you, they'll buy a drink or offer to buy you a drink and say, hey, what's up? It's just that straightforward nowadays.
I believe that's because more females are starting to get man mentality.
No, it ain't that. What the problem is that when a girl does that, it could be a turn on and it also could be a turn off too for the dude.
Okay.
Like if you come too hard, we be worried about, you know, what she got, what she really trying to do.
Most
Get set
women though these days are approaching because they're strong nature. A lot of women are becoming more strong nature when they like, I want what I want now,
Okay.
and I'm seek it like the
So I mean, maybe I was looking at it the wrong way.
But strong nature is cool, right? But also too, going back to that ratio thing, if you feeling some kind of way, it's gonna trigger that strong nature to go out and be targeted in that direction. So it's like, if you strong natured and you know you want to do it in your life, what you gonna do? You gonna, he look like the type of dude, you know, he look like my type.
Right.
She gonna step to him. You know what I mean? So
In her own way.
yeah. Now, if she didn't have to, if the ratios was reversed, and she didn't have to, or if it was enough eligible black men based on y'all's criteria,
Okay.
then she wouldn't necessarily have to be as aggressive. You know. You
So
know what I'm saying?
basically, you're saying because there's a limitation on eligible man, that when a woman sees one that is eligible or deemed to be eligible or meeting her criteria, she's like, oh, okay, I gotta snatch
and
him
go
up.
extra hard.
Right.
I gotta get him before somebody else do.
Right. Go extra hard.
I mean, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it. And it's the same way with a woman, like you said, man sometimes step out if there's drama. And most women, if they feel like their significant other is lacking in a certain area, it can make them feel inadequate. So here comes a boy or another guy that's giving them the validation or the attention that they may feel like they're lacking from their significant other at home.
So what you feel?
So
you're saying that women need the attention. So that'll stop them from
most
cheating.
women, they want attention from their significant other, meaning like you're catering to their needs, you're talking to them, you're communicating with them, and not just being a provider, but you're dating them, you're still courting, because I believe some guys forget to court, even some women forget to continue to court their significant other. They get with somebody in this long term, and then after so long, it's like, okay, well, whatever. We've been together for such time, I ain't got to do this no more. I don't have to get dressed or
I think that
excite them anymore.
I think that we spoke on it last week in last week's episode or whatever, but I used the term being turned into furniture, right? So you, I got that term from when I had a fiance,
Okay.
and she was comfortable, like, you know, I spoiled her,
Right.
right? So she'd come home and, you know, just like I was the couch in the living room, she'd walk past me like I wasn't
you
even
wasn't
there,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah,
And
but-
that can definitely be a problem for both parties.
Oh, yeah.
Because now that means that you guys are no longer vibing or communicating like you once did, which can now allow you to divert your attention and allow her to divert her attention, because there's no togetherness. It's like you're here and I'm here, and we're basically
oftentimes
in a
oftentimes when the person is comfortable though and becomes comfortable in that place, it's not them that's actually suffering. They're actually quite content, you know. But that other person is like, yo, I'm not getting what I need out the deal.
Right.
I'm a piece of furniture. I'm a couch right now. You know what I'm saying? She just walked right past me. She didn't say anything. All she cared about was, you know, everything was straight in her world.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
there's a little selfishness to that.
That's where the communication comes in, where you have to communicate that. And I think I was fair enough to have communicated that at a number of intervals where at some point, that's when you check out. When you check out, that's where the question of cheating comes in.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you mentally check out.
Because you're vulnerable at that point when you go out
You
into
can
the world.
allow other people to come in, opportunity to get in, and that's vice. And I believe that's vice versa for a woman. When there's opportunity or when there's lack in a certain area, then that allows room for another guy to come in. Because if you're telling your significant other, and I can only speak from a woman's point of view, but if you're telling your woman, babe, you look beautiful today, or oh my God, you did such an amazing job with this today, or blah blah blah.
Grab a handful
Then
of booty or
another
something.
man, then another man can come in and be like, "Oh, you look fine," or "You look beautiful," and she feels a certain way about it because she's been told that from the man that she's with at home. But when there's lack, then that opens up door from both parties for another person to come in. But it's different with a woman, because once a woman allows a man in, she's emotionally evolved before she becomes physically involved.
So it's safe to say that when a woman cheats, it could become serious.
It can become serious.
Yeah, we don't.
Definitely.
Guys don't look at it that way. Our cheat is different.
We not just gonna say, "Oh, I'm going to go and sleep with this dude." You build her up to that.
Oh wow.
By developing a friendship with her and communication level with her
I've seen that too.
she's lacking from the person that she's with at home. And once that's developed, then that means you had time to talk to this person more than once, and now you've created this bond with the person, and now you're feeling them on a whole nother level, because once you take it to the intimacy, now you got me.
Okay.
Because then once you get to the intimacy part, at that point you may be thinking about, do I need to stay with the person?
Oh wow.
So
it's different. Like a man, like you said, you can cheat and that is no emotions involved. Most women that cheat, it's because the relationship has been suffering for a long time and they were emotionally vulnerable. And that person got into their mental and their emotions, and they allowed that person to
But
get
none
in.
of that makes
But
it
it
right
doesn't
on
just,
either part.
it's never right.
Yeah.
Let's get that. That's for those that's watching. Cheating is never good on either party, whether it be from a man, whether it be from a woman. Cheating is never okay, because at the end of the day, somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah,
And at
but
the end of the day, if the other person gets involved, they may develop feelings. Even if it's just a man sleeping with a woman.
It
and
can
it's just
also
one night
become
stand.
a deadly situation.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who you end up cheating with.
Yeah.
How they mental, their psyche
And
is.
they could be emotionally connected. So
Right.
what you thought was a one night stand,
It
it
become
turned into weeks of
fatal attraction.
the woman calling you, "What's up? What's up? Are you gonna sleep? You just gonna sleep with me and not
Right.
call me back? What's going on?"
And I've seen that happen.
deep. No.
I've seen that happen.
Oh.
Like you didn't just. I mean, it seemed like you made love to me. I know we don't know each other, but
Right.
the way that you touched me and the way that you were, intimately involved with me, I never felt that way before.
Yeah.
Man, some of these dames is like cats. You can't take them out and buy them nothing to eat, because that's what look, they gonna want to be around you all the time. Look, I'm gonna be Keith tonight. I'm not Chevy tonight. I'm Keith tonight. Keith is an ignorant guy.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
So we didn't got the idea of how cheating could happen.
Right.
It can just be drama at home.
Right.
It can be emotional lack. It could be that the other person doesn't feel validated at home from their significant other. Or it can be that the other person has gotten too comfortable. So either way, I think the common denominator is trying to make sure that you continue to court the person that you with. Continue to have fun with the person. Spice it up. Never get
That's
too
friendship.
comfortable.
That's friendship.
Yeah, man.
Definitely friendship. And I think
best
friendship.
Best friend.
Yeah, the person you date.
Like what you would do, it should be your best friend.
The person
I
you date
agree.
should be your ride or die. Period.
Yeah.
That's
I
your best
agree.
friend. Like, I should be able to take her to the hood with me. I should be able to take her
Yeah.
to the barbershop, whatever it is. So yeah, definitely.
I
the
should
best
be
friend.
able to kick
And-
it with you like I
and-
kick it with my friends.
Yeah, and she should be willing to go though.
Yeah.
Because sometimes women they don't want to do that as well.
I used to trip when my grandma used to say, like, who been sitting in my seat in this car? You know what I'm saying?
But since you brought that up,
What's up?
because sometimes, and I'm gonna tell from my own experience. When me and my husband was dating, before we got married, I was that girl who would be with him in the hood and hang with him at
Let's
this
go.
place
And
and
that's
that
what we
place.
like
Did you drink the 40s?
But-
The 40s up the neck plate?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I wasn't a beer drinker.
Okay.
I was more like a wine, and I'll take a
Okay.
shot here and there.
But you weren't drinking the wine like straight off the
No,
bottle. Okay.
not that.
Okay.
But I was your homegirl. Like, okay, what's up? I
You
hang
got
with
trained
the
well.
fellas
You
and,
was
yeah,
some fellas. You was
have
some fellas
fun.
like the pinky
I
up
can
when
be
you
a
said-
classy, bougie, ghetto chick, all of that.
Right.
So we did that. We kicked it, have fun. But then it's like once we said I do, it was like I don't want you going to the hood no more. No.
All right.
Why is that? Why does it change now once you, for some, I'm not going to say all,
gonna say-
where you no longer want to
On his
do the same
behalf,
thing
I have to
that
look
you
like this. He don't want you to go to the hood because he don't want nothing to happen to you. So that has nothing to do with nothing but him trying to protect you.
Y'all want to protect her, right? You can't be in those situations. You the
You
queen
can't
now.
be in the hood now. You
You
got
the
to be
queen
protected.
now. You move different.
But
on
doesn't
the
that take away the concept of we like friends
Nah,
and
y'all
best
find-
friend type
y'all-
of
You
y'all
just go hang out
relationship?
somewhere else. You gotta find another. You gotta go find another place to chill now.
You gotta find some
because
other
now
place.
he don't want
You can't go to the
drama
barbershop
in the hood.
no
He
more.
can't be around that no more because it's a different feel.
Yeah, you can't go to the barbershop no
different
more.
feel then.
Because there's some random dude in there and he looking. You know.
But that's anywhere. I mean, if you take your girl out to dinner, it's gonna be
Yeah,
looking.
not in his spaces.
Yeah, not in it yet.
His spaces.
No, that's not the same.
So, when you're a clean guy with 31 of your 32 teeth, sometimes like
Look, if you guys watched last week's episode, he put a lot of emphasis on his teeth, ladies. Okay? So he's not playing about his teeth.
Nah,
So
he
you know he ain't got no yuck mouth. You know he keeping it clean.
Yeah.
And if a man keep their mouth clean, they keeping their body clean, okay?
I try.
If a girl keeps her feet clean, she keeps her body clean.
And that was his thing.
Yeah,
Dirty
His
bra
feet
straps
perfect.
was
Yeah.
mine.
So
Yeah.
I guess we all got our thing.
Yeah. The dirty bra strap will tell you about a life, bro.
So look out for the dirty bra straps, okay?
And when you go to the bathroom at her house, look, when you flip the toilet seat up, look, and she got the shower curtains closed.
Yeah, you gotta look in that bathtub.
If it's a ring in that tub, man, you can't hang with
Bunch
it.
of towels in the corner.
It's hard ass
Those towels in the corner.
Oh my
Anyway,
goodness.
let's get back on
Ladies.
track. Let's get back on
So
track.
you're hearing some of the things that men do, not like, you're hearing that, right? You're hearing that.
These are learned things, though.
Yeah,
And you learn that too
It's
from
through
being
experience.
around a person
Yeah,
and
through
actually
experience,
dating them, kicking it with them at their home after a couple of times. Because you know the first day they gonna make sure things clean for you. The second day they gonna still try to keep it up, and after the third or fourth day they still maintain, and then that means that's pretty much who they are. You just pay attention to the vibe.
All right.
Pay attention to the vibe. So we talked about, you know, the cheating and all of that good stuff. So now let's get a little juicy.
Juice.
Let's
we
dive
go.
right on in it.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Let's dive into it.
we definitely like to dive.
Why is sex so important?
Well, you gave
Or
us...
is it important?
Yes, definitely. And I'm gonna say that quick and fast.
You see the facial expression, ladies.
So sex is important because we need it. We have to have it.
Why do you need it? Shouldn't
Because-
that be something that you can
Because
control?
like, as the 15-year-old boy in me is screaming out, because if I don't get it, I'll
Going
die.
somewhere- no, you know what? No,
I'm
no.
going to die.
If I don't get it, that makes me want to go cheat. I need head. I need everything. I need everything that I want from you, so I don't have to go to the next lady and try to get it from her.
Okay.
So sex is important because of that reason, and plus it brings you together, and plus it gives me a chance to get to know your body. If I don't know your body, how can I always make you happy? I have to practice, right? I practice the jump shot if I want to become LeBron James. If I want to be the best horse player in the world, I got to practice. So at the end of the day, we need to practice in sex.
Bravo,
Okay,
bravo.
so what if
Good answer.
What if-
Family Feud, baby.
You know it.
you meet a young lady who prefers to wait until marriage for sex, and her whole perspective
But, I mean,
is, you know, this is
but-
a guy thing, and I want to get
That's
to know
different.
you. I don't want, because
That's
sometimes you can be intimately involved, and feelings can be confused based off of the sex drive.
Okay, that's different.
You can have great sex, but not have anything in common.
So I got a question over that before I even touch on it, right? So, people that's in that lane, and when you frame the question, I'm thinking that you have some experience on that, or have had some interaction in that way, right? So, I know with some of my Muslim people, you know, they have those types of things, like not into marriage type, but you know, they get around it, right? They get around it. So, like, in framing your question, is there a way around it? Like, you know, just some kind of way where a person that may be celibate or whatever, and their partner is not, for you to relieve that person without it being a
I mean, you
situation.
do other things that's sexual, but not actual
Exactly.
intercourse.
Yeah, so help me with that before I answer the question.
I mean, technically speaking, if you're stating that you're going to wait until marriage,
Right.
that includes all sexual activity.
No, that's
That
intercourse,
includes-
right?
It's not just intercourse.
Uh-huh.
Because sex is sex, whether it be oral or whether it be intercourse, it's still considered sex. And it's a little.
What about the
fickle with
touching?
that.
What about touching?
I mean,
Same thing.
see, it's still considered fornication.
Enticing, or whatever.
And-
Enticing the act.
Yeah, if you're somebody that's, because I don't believe in religion, but if you're somebody that believes in religion and you know that there's supposed to be no sex before marriage and things like that, that's what's said in the Bible.
You know what's crazy though is
That includes all type of sex, because it's just like having, let's say if you're married, as a married person, you're not supposed to play with yourself, I would say, or
Masturbate.
masturbate.
Right. Okay.
you shouldn't have to.
If you're married.
So,
You're not
hold on,
supposed to. It's
You're not
considered
supposed to.
like-
Why not? If
Maybe if you're doing it together, like y'all in the
But-
bedroom
but
together,
hold on,
but
hold on,
outside
hold
that
on,
person,
hold on, hold on.
you're only supposed to go to that person for your sexual needs.
what if that person ain't providing you your sexual needs? And that makes you end up
You
cheating.
gotta-
That's what I'm trying to say.
Then you
It's a
gotta
whole
figure it
turn.
out. Because even looking at someone in an intimate way, like, ooh,
Well, I'm
that's considered the sin. It starts in the thoughts. It starts in the mindset before
that's
it
considered cheating.
formulates.
I'm all out.
Yeah, I mean, we all probably all. I mean, because everybody done looked at somebody, male or female, dating somebody, intimately involved,
But it was
married.
something you said-
may look at somebody like,
It was something you said earlier when you were saying that as far as cheating, with cheating and sex and all this stuff that goes in hand in hand. Based back to what we started about with the respect, the loyalty, all that stuff comes hand in hand. Because if you have the respect for the person, you're loyal to the person, you're communicating with the person, there won't be no cheating. Then you will have sex because you told them that this is what I need and this is what I want. So you said before marriage, like
if they're saying that they want to wait,
if they wanted to wait. So now you said if they wanted to wait, if they tell you that up front,
then you know what you're getting into.
which goes back to what we said. They communicated up front. Like, look, so you already know up front, like, okay, I ain't gonna get none.
But what about people who have kids and then just say, that was my question. Like people who have kids and then they just decide out of nowhere to be celibate. I don't think that that's fair to their partner.
No, it's not fair.
I think that opens the door, but then it also presents a situation where you can communicate to your partner like, hey, look, I ain't with that. I was watching The Shy, right? And they were doing this open relationship thing, and it wasn't working for my man no more. So he was like, yo, I don't, look, if you want to continue on with this, he communicated that. And a lot of women was dogging him because he couldn't handle it. You know, I'm done with it, da-da-da-da.
Because he probably didn't like seeing his woman with another man. Which most men don't.
No,
they should have never opened that door.
You don't open that door.
Yeah, that's open up the Door's box.
Unless that's the door you started on in the beginning.
I would say because I know people who's had children and been with a person for a long time and decided, well, now I want to do things the right way, because your mental does change. You know, sometimes our hormones can range out of control, and in that moment, you like, forget it. Let's just go for it.
Right.
And then as you develop spiritually and maturity-wise, your mindset can shift where you like, I want to do it right. And you can change your mindset just like when we repent. We all do wrong every day in everything we do. We all do wrong, and we repent and we try to do right. You can be somebody that's robbing somebody this day, but then the next day you decide you want to get your life right and you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes people can be in long-term relationships
that goes
and
into
decide to change.
that growth though.
Yeah.
And the communication. But again, if you with somebody long-term and you decide to make this decision without including that person, from a male perspective, you it's a wrap.
Yeah,
it's a wrap. Because
so when they're spiritually divine and that's probably a conversation that they had
it's
spiritually, and then they decided, okay, I done been hit with the wave.
You know what? Sex is spiritually thing.
I've been feeling some type of way.
You're saying that.
He or she.
Okay.
I've been hit with something. I've been woke up today. I'm changing my life. And I want to do things the right way, and I don't want to sin no more, and I want us to be blessed, and I want us to do things the right way. I want us to
you're communicating
together.
that to your
Of
partner.
course, I will hope that they will communicate it with their partner because it's involving their partner. So, baby.
But if it's something, listen.
I decided I don't want to have sex anymore. I love you. But there's been a
can't do that.
This is what I've decided. Are you gonna, if you've been with this person long term, y'all done developed this relationship, are you gonna just walk away because they decide to take sex?
You might not walk away, but you're gonna have a time limit. Because sex is spiritual too. It's a spiritual.
It is. You exchange souls.
So if you get to a point where it's a year or whatever it may be, sooner or later you'll be like, look, the clock is ticking. I got to.
And then
but isn't that being able to resist temptation, and doesn't that show good strength that, okay, well, I love this person to be able to withhold myself from doing that because I love this person, and I would rather gain understanding and knowing them more intimately, meaning here before we learn them there.
From a male perspective, our mentality, we gonna bypass everything spiritual, right? It will tap into a man's insecurity. That man is going to say, "Wait a minute, hold on, she just cut me off."
Right.
Wait, whoa.
So you automatically gonna go left and think that something is wrong?
We think automatically go there.
We either think something wrong, or maybe
you cheating.
Wow.
Because you might have a disease that you don't, that's why you cut it off.
You know,
so they've been doing
I wasn't thinking about no disease.
No. What I mean by that is, so say you stop having sex for a year.
Mm-hmm.
You girl say, I'm done, I ain't having sex with you for. When you asking her why she not giving you no answers, you're gonna start thinking she's done something with someone else, and maybe she don't want to reveal to you what she may have gotten.
So it's automatically going to something bad.
Hell yeah, it's gonna go automatically. You get mad over
Because
this
you're
time.
tapping. Listen, look, I don't like. Look, I'm gonna go on the record and say it. I do not care for Steve Harvey, but Steve Harvey is right.
Because of the book?
I mean, just in general, it's like we ain't gonna go there.
The 90
But he
day
is.
rule?
What do they say about a clock? A broke clock is wrong. It's right twice a day.
Right.
So with that being said, the one thing that always stuck to me that Mr. Harvey would say is men are fragile.
Yeah.
Like we can't handle
No
the
matter
shit.
how tough
we
we
can't
are,
handle the
we'll
shit
be-
that y'all can handle.
No.
So if that scenario were to occur, it's gonna go left immediately. You know, like
Like I said,
your brain, if you actually care about the person,
Yeah, you give them time.
your brain is gonna go all over the place. You may give them some leeway to
Yeah.
kind of figure it out and figure out what direction she wants to go in, but after a while, again, those things that we talked about earlier, when he goes to the supermarket and that lady say, "Hey, can you get that off the shelf for me up there?" And he gets in there, she say, "Well, damn, you smell good."
Right.
You know,
You got.
what
What
is that
you got
you're
a woman.
wearing?
Yep.
You know, and then next thing you know, you're having a conversation with her.
And then next you know,
You
you're at
know,
the bar.
you're vulnerable. You sent your man out into the world into that. You know, and I get it because
and
you're trying to
Yeah,
do the
you're
spiritual
trying to do
thing.
things the right way, and it's a catch-22 because most women don't off rip want to be intimate when they first get with somebody. Most women, when they're intimate with someone, it's because they fell in love with them and they want to share themselves with them. Because for me, it's a spiritual exchange for sure. It's a soul exchange. Every time you lay down with a person, you're connecting with them. Because even back in the day, to consider yourself married, it wasn't a marriage certificate. It wasn't going to say I do. It was having sex with the person, and that made you man and wife.
Okay.
Back in the day, once you had sex with somebody, once you was intimate with somebody, and there was intercourse, that's your husband and that's your wife now. So it's a little different now.
Can you delve deeper into that because that's something that I've never heard.
Yeah.
And yeah, go
That's
ahead.
how it used to be back in the day.
Good.
Even
Oh,
in
you talking about back in the day.
You
Yeah,
talking
not
about caveman days?
now. Caveman days.
You talking about
Even if you
like
when
caveman?
you looking at like
See,
looking
because
back
I've
in the
been
day,
married a
once
couple
you lay
times. I've been
down,
married a lot.
when you lay down with somebody, that became your husband, that became your wife. It was no like marriage certificate.
You answered your question.
There was
Even
some
back
sort of-
then, they needed sex. Sex.
Yeah,
confirmed.
definitely.
So
But
sex
that's the
confirmed
reason
things
why
back then,
marriage
confirm it
was,
now.
if you in the Bible, that's the reason why marriage was created, because God no longer wanted us to be promiscuous and out here sleeping with this person and that person. He wanted us to be tied and connected to just one person if we were going to be sexually involved.
So with the ratio being what it is now, what do we say to those other 9 women?
That's willing to just do it.
No, that don't have a dude. What are we saying to them? What are we saying? Should they be alone? Did the one woman that got the dude feel like she hit the lottery? Because I hear these debates back and forth about
I bet you that
polygamy and all these types of things. And you know,
I feel like, it's at the end of the day, I believe it's to each their own. If you want to be a woman that's involved in a relationship where the man is able to be with another woman, that means that woman has to somewhat be okay with being able to sleep with another woman. That's something that she agreed to. That's something that she was probably interested in, and something that she wanted. Because most women ain't willing to share.
I'm not gonna speak
their
on this.
significant others.
listen.
Most women aren't willing to
Listen.
share. So when they saying yes to it, that means they were probably in their head already thinking about
No,
it.
I don't think that, I think some. No, I can't say that because there's a lot of women who don't be thinking about sleeping with another
But you
woman.
think they're
But-
manipulated?
Yeah, because I was a manipulator, and I manipulated a lot of women in it.
Here's the thing, too,
and it's not because I thought I was that man or that guy. I just knew what to say to them at that time in my life.
It's
And they
different.
were
It's
yeah.
different levels of manipulation.
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Because like my grandmother, love her, God rest her soul, because she was a wise lady. My grandmother was like, you come from whores. Like your great granddaddy was a whore, you know. And we come to find out that he was around the corner. He had a whole other house around the corner.
With a whole other family?
With a whole other family.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so
Damn.
if I saw, and she would always say, you better know who your cousins are. She would use the F-bomb. You F around and be hitting one of your cousins.
I mean, yeah, if you need to
Baby
know
had
who
this,
they
da
are.
da da da. He had difficulties or whatever. And I'm like, Granny, why would you say that? But then I got to thinking about it.
Right.
And then you get out in the world and you start seeing this, and you find out historically that this was commonplace. that a lot of the husbands in the houses back in the day had whole entire families
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Oh,
So,
yeah. I
I
know
didn't-
some
So
stories.
cheating ain't new. I mean, cheating ain't nothing new about cheating. It's just
It was
about
more hidden then, because then you were frowned upon when you had a whole nother family, and that
Yeah.
family had to be kept hidden. Now, men are more like out with it, like, hey, yeah, I got this woman and I got this
Women the same way though.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
So there we go
They are.
again with that respect thing.
Yeah.
Because you have respect.
and then quality over
Yeah.
quantity. Quality over.
I'm with him all day on that quality
Yeah.
thing
You
now.
know what I'm saying?
'Cause I done ran into a lot of quantity, but that quality hard to find. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, because I mean, I was in a bar. This is a story. I was in a bar a while back. Girl approached me. Her first thing she said to me was like, can we talk candid on here? She
Yeah.
wanted me to pee on her.
Oh, wow.
And Robert. No, this is, no, don't put me on no Robert. This is what she wanted. I'm looking at the young lady saying,
I mean,
how do you say that to
Interacting
somebody
with
and feel
Robert.
comfortable enough to say that?
Because
So-
she probably was that type of woman who
but that
she
turned me
wanted
off.
what she wanted.
It turned me off. At the same time, you're like, damn. Then you're like,
But you was thinking the same way back in the day.
but at the same time, I didn't do it. So here's the thing, I didn't do it. But the point of the matter is, she approached me like that. So it's like,
You just
wow.
didn't expect it from a woman.
Hell no, not
Right.
no shit like that.
And why is that though? Let's dive into that. Why is it that men can be upfront and blunt about what they want? I want sex. I want head on the regular. I want this. I want you to make sure I got a home cooked meal. I want to make sure when I come home there's dinner and the house is clean. You guys can be upfront about the things that you want. But if you got a woman that gives you that same sternness, that same strength, why is it frowned upon?
I don't think it's fine. I don't.
But you said it turned you off when she
No.
came at you.
Oh,
She asked me to do something that was kind of out of my wheelhouse. So yeah, that turned me off. But
So
hey,
maybe if she asked you something else, it would.
I ain't gonna say it all depends. It was weird. Put it that way. It was weird.
And then too, like when you're in that situation,
I got caught off guard. Be honest with you.
I don't mind a woman being forward at all. I don't, But at the same time too, I'm a natural skeptic. I'm like, why? I need to ask why. Why are you here?
Who
are you
sent
here
you?
to set me
Who
up?
sent you?
So I should ask you.
Are you setting me
So
up?
I should ask her why you asked me this question. So I
You
should
set me up.
So you're just automatically assuming somebody sent her to try to test you.
Hey,
All
she
right.
said that. I was
It's
like,
technology out here now, like
Oh yeah, let me see if he's gonna fall for it. I know where
Right,
he be
right,
at. He's gonna
right.
be at this
Girl, we
spot
go-
at this time.
That's right.
That's
Go-
such and such dude.
Go
That's
plot.
such and such dude right there. Girl, step to him right quick, and I'm gonna record
And then let
this.
me know.
Yep, and let me know how this goes.
I mean, you got some people that's like that. That want to.
They do some freaky stuff?
No, that six you on you. Just trying to
Yeah,
see
they do that. They do
what
that.
you would do.
They
There's
will.
some people that's twisted like that. That I don't have that much energy.
Insecure.
Yeah. I don't have that much energy or time to do that.
Me neither.
That takes too much energy. Too much
I don't even check.
energy.
I ain't never checked my girl phone ever.
Wow.
Ever. You can
So,
just send it, never
okay,
do that.
let's talk about that.
I don't want to know.
When
I
you're
don't know.
when you're in a relationship, do you believe in having locks on your phone? Do you believe that your phone should have a lock on it or should be kept unlocked and you guys should be able to access if your girl will pass if she wanted to check your phone? Would you get mad about it?
Hell yeah, because I don't check hers.
But why? If you're not
If I don't
doing
check your
nothing and
phone,
you're
don't check my phone.
you're not cheating, you're
There
exclusive
are
with this
certain
person.
levels of
But if
privacy,
she just
though.
wanted to
You-
check it and
if I
she tells
don't-
you you can
so-
check hers.
If I don't check your phone, don't check mine.
But why is there an issue? Shouldn't it just be open? If I'm your significant other, shouldn't I
So you just
be able
trust
to
me?
have access?
So you just trust me and not pick up my phone, period?
I mean that could, but what if I'm saying shouldn't it be open?
Yeah,
Why do we have locks?
Now,
on
I
our phone?
don't
Why
have
do
locks
we
on. I don't have a lock on my phone, by the way. And at the same time, I keep my phone out. But I do not like nobody going through my phone because I don't go through theirs. I'm not gonna go through yours. Don't go through mine.
I've been fortunate to not have those situations.
A woman that's snooping.
A Snoopy ass woman, no. But I think
He
too.
got Snoopy ass.
but I think that when it comes down to it, if
Uh-huh.
if a woman exhibits that level of insecurity, I can't be with her. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm giving you everything that you need to be secure, right? And I make sure of that, right? I'm not doing shit.
So let's reverse this.
Okay.
Reframe this. What if you gave her reasons to not trust you? What if
But that's the
you
whole thing.
cheated? So in order for her to gain your trust back, she wants to check every now and then to make sure that you're being right. Is that a problem?
No, so
That
first
Bugs
of all-
Bunny, hold on,
Go
Bugs
ahead.
Bunny thing where he, the thing on Facebook where he goes, no.
So guess what?
you said gain your trust back. Once you come back and allow him back in your life,
There you go.
that's it.
Yep. There you go.
Either you let him go, or you bring him back
Right.
in. You got to trust him.
Look.
You can't be start checking no phones. Where you going today? Where you been today? Smelling niggas' drawers? No.
Because you gunshot
Like you bet.
on a football.
Baby boy, let me
on a
smell
football,
your-
let me say this: on the football field, if you get your bell rung, right, you're gonna be gun shy going back out there, right?
Okay.
But you can't be gun shy because what ends up happening again, if you cautious, you'll fuck around and get banged again. So that analogy
So,
is
Let me give you this analogy though. So when you, let's just say, randomly at a job, they do random drug tests.
Right.
Let's say, oh, you know that you've gotten into trouble before by having marijuana in your system. So the job, in order for you to keep your job, they have to do random tests on you to make sure that you are not no longer partaking in smoking
You're really trying to find a way to make this work, right?
So
She's trying to make
they're
it
doing
work, right?
that randomly, and
Right.
you agree because you're trying to keep your job and gain their trust back in you. Why is it any different?
Hold on, I got your
First of
answer.
all, you get paid at that job.
Let me say this though, bro. Hey, let me say this though. It's a great analogy, but there are other jobs out there.
Oh,
Other
that's
jobs.
It's other
So
jobs.
meaning there are other people
Other
out
women
there
to go to
who's
who
not
don't
going to
check
be
your phone.
checking my phone or doubting what
That's
I
a
say.
stressor. That's
Yeah.
a stressor. That's one
It
of
is. Not to trust somebody is definitely a
I mean,
huge
that's a
stressor.
lot going on.
If you got to look at this person every day and you're second guessing everything that they say, that's probably a person that you want to reevaluate because that's not peace of mind for anybody.
Man,
You won't. You wouldn't. I
Man.
wouldn't want to have that type of anxiety.
listen, this is my brother right here. And look, I was an insomniac, so I could do 10, 12 hours at work. And then if it's the weekend,
He come right through the crib. We drinking
we
till the
drink
morning.
in, hang out.
Yep.
2 o'clock. My phone started blowing up at 12. Why you not home? Da, 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 da.
Did you make her aware that you were going to be out past a certain time? That's respect.
It was respectful. It was always respectful.
Like
You
just
know,
making me
I
aware.
think for him,
Hey, babe.
She
I'm gonna be out a
she
little
knew
later
exactly
than expected.
where he was at.
She knew exactly where
She
I
knew
was
exactly
at,
where
you
he
know.
was at.
But one thing that both your husband and my brother can say about me is that I was always in situations where I was always the most strong-willed person in the room.
Yeah,
If
definitely.
I'm with you, I'm with you. That's why I say, like, if I'm giving you the respect, if I'm giving you no reason to really, she's been around my friends, you know. I took her around them personally so that she would know that, hey, look, I get with my friends, I'm chatterboxing, I'm talking,
Yeah.
we talking about issues, all kinds of things, relationships,
Right.
you name it. So those conversations
Politics.
could
So
run.
meaning that just because I may be coming home a little later than expected doesn't mean I'm out doing something I shouldn't be doing.
Right.
I'm just kicking a little.
And then
Now, I do feel that you need to check in with your
For
significant
sure.
other. I'm good because it's a lot of stuff can happen out here in the world. So I
Yeah,
do
and
feel
I
you need to
realize
do
that now after the fact, even being in another relationship, you know, that women tend to worry about those things, you know, like about your safety.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I've gotten
true. Yeah, that's
grilled about that. Like,
I just want to make sure you're okay.
but sometimes that shit is like yanking your chain too, you know. And that might be scars from previous and prior relationships where I'm carrying that, and you know, she come to homie house with the baby, and like, why are you down here? Man, I've been
She
in the
did
house
not-
all day.
She did not like me.
Yeah, she ain't like
I had a house full of girls.
Oh
you know,
wow.
But he was, like I said, I can attest. I could have had a house full of girls. At the time, I had a house full of girls, and he'll be like, nope, nope.
Not
nope,
doing it.
nope,
I'm not
nope.
jeopardizing what
But
I
me,
got.
my wife and my fucking kid upstairs.
But me, I was having a ball.
Okay, so we touched on the whole trusting scenario. You gotta trust your significant other.
Yeah.
You gotta just understand
Please
either
do.
believe in them or don't. Let them go. We already talked about a little bit about sex. We talked a lot about sex, but is sex and intimacy? Do you guys think it's the same thing?
No,
No, it's not at all.
not at all.
Because you can have sex with anybody, but you can't be intimate with everybody.
And intimacy doesn't always constitute sex.
And not at
You know
all.
what I mean,
Yep.
you know, like grown folks know that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
You got to get to a certain age.
you
figure
get
that
to a
out.
certain place. Like I was telling you about my friend earlier. Like me and her never really like connected on that level. But we go out and eat and talk and chill. And I still consider her a friend to this day. She has a whole husband. But if we hung out, I feel like that those interactions to a certain level are intimate, but we both understand that we
There's
can't go there.
boundaries.
Yeah, you can't go there. You know, and sometimes people need that. Real talk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that conversation from someone from the opposite sex.
Just get an understanding.
Now, intimacy is a build-up.
Yeah.
It's a build-up. Now,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to the movies or you're going out for a walk at the park. Then you're going to maybe taking your girl to a spa. You just pay for it, take her to the spa. She go getting her hair done, nails done, all that. So now she's feeling good her whole day. Like, oh, he did this, he did that. You go grab her something
So
from the
it's
mall.
building up to that.
You grab her something from the mall. What you grab could be something sexy for her to put on for the night for you. When you get to the crib, you do your thing, you got your dinner, whether you cook it or you buy it. And then the next thing you know, she's gonna want to get you what you need. But it's a
But
build up.
you're already-
Intimacy is a build up.
When
Sex will be in the around the corner anyway.
It stopped.
No, we are still live.
When you in the house, like those things, and that's what I talk about when we're getting turned into furniture, where people get spoiled. If you are doing those things on a regular basis, it becomes an expectation. It becomes to be something that's expected as opposed to something
That's exciting.
That's exciting and that's
I agree with that. That's
So
true.
you have to,
Like,
you know,
space it out.
space it out.
Do the
You know,
intervals where
but
you're not doing
people
it so
gotta eat.
often.
People gotta eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The grass gotta get cut, right? So my ex told me, like, after the fact, she was like, she used to love coming home and seeing the yard cut all crispy and clean, and she comes in and dinner would be good, like on the weekends, you know,
Right.
dinner would be already handled, and I'll be in the basement with my drink, chilling.
See, I don't. Yeah, I'm like you. We some cooking brothers, so I don't have no
Yeah.
problem cooking and doing all those things. But like I said, sex is one thing.
I do need you to do me a favor. You keep talking.
Intimacy is another.
You pull out your phone and go to the page for me. Because I do want to open it up to you guys to be able to ask us a few questions. And the next one I do want to talk with you guys about is because in a relationship,
Okay.
most times you are going to have disagreements. No relationship is perfect. We all know that. There's your ups and you have your downs, and then there's times when you smooth sailing. You know, you're riding a wave and things are good. And then it'll be a little tipsy-turvy. When you get into those times, when you're at a disagreement, how does one compromise? How do you compromise?
When you're at a
I
disagreement.
want to open that up to you all to answer as well. And while you guys are sending in your questions in reference to compromising when there's disagreement, I want to hear from these fellas that's here on what are some ways that you compromise when there's a disagreement that you, no matter what, you didn't try to have a conversation. The
Okay.
conversation was cool and collected, but still, there's I'm
The
thinking
young
this
lady-
way and you thinking this way.
So, from my perspective, the person I was dating at the time, when we had a disagreement, what we would try to do is write it down.
Okay.
So we write it down. So say if there's 5 things I didn't like, or 4 things she didn't like, or whatever it was, I write them down. Now, she doesn't like to talk on the phone, or she doesn't like to talk face to face about things because it's emotional for her. So
Okay.
we had to go that route. But you got to do it in a space that's not the home, because the home is where most of the negative energy is coming from.
Right.
So you go outside the home,
So you
maybe to a
change your
hotel,
environment.
maybe go on a trip or something. And you know, like, this is what bothers me about you. This is what bothers me about you. And then y'all figure out how can you fix those things. But it might be some things in the relationship you don't want to change. But at least you know what they are now.
So it's almost like what Chef said at last week's episode, where you're constantly elevating, constantly relearning each other, and trying to get better in the areas that you feel that you may lack in.
Yeah, every day is a learning experience.
Right.
The only thing that you can lose in a relationship is your time. So you got to
That's
make every
true.
day
Time is something you can't
got to
get
make
back.
it every day valuable
Right.
with each other. So sitting around arguing and fighting all day, you wasting a lot of time that could be given to yourself or to someone else.
Right. But the question is, because you know you're going to have disagreements. So you said writing it out,
Write it
changing
out.
the environment
Mhm.
so that we can be in a different mindset, because we're not at home where the
Where all that
tension
drama
was
or whatever it is.
created.
Yep.
So we're changing up the environment. So we're creating a whole new energy based on changing that environment.
Mhm.
And then while we're in that environment, what's going on? What is it that you have a problem with? We're writing it down. What is it that I have a problem with? I'm writing it down so we can come to a common ground. So once you wrote those things
Right.
down, how do you find a common ground?
So when you write those things down and you guys look at it and say, okay, well, this is my issue, this is my, and you tell that person, like, okay, can you change this? If a person really truly loves you and have enough respect
Yeah,
and loyalty for, they're gonna change it. If they don't, they will not change it. It's who they are. It is what it is.
Okay, and how do you feel about that? How do you come to a compromise when there's a disagreement? Did you pull it up?
I got the thing up, but you know, I don't really know nothing about it.
Okay, so yep.
Oh, so that's
I
it.
just,
It can-
I just
Okay.
want to see
Man, put it
them,
on TV.
see what they're talking. No, it's not gonna go in there.
Okay, go ahead. Repeat that question.
When there's a disagreement in the home with your significant other, how do you find ways to come to a common ground? How do you compromise? Even if you guys, at the end of the day, you keep one and you still, that person's still going love and that person's still going right. How do you come to a common ground on something that you disagree with?
I don't have those problems. And I'll say that with the utmost arrogance. Like, because we talked last week
And
about...
you told me you spoiled.
I am spoiled. I'm spoiled.
Yeah. Rhinestone.
I'm right. So, but at the same time too, though, when we talked last week, we talked about continuous improvement. So my goal is to eliminate problems before they become problems, right? So if I think something's going left, if we have a disagreement or whatever, that disagreement is my fault because I didn't recognize that we was getting to a place where there was going to be a disagreement, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to eliminate the problem before it becomes a problem. I'm always watching. My brain never turns off. That's how I earned a lot of these gray hairs. It's extremely frustrating, but it's extremely peaceful because I wouldn't have it any other way. And some people say that I'm a control freak when it comes to things like that, but when I think about like the blowouts that I had with my old lady, they were relatively minor.
So small things.
Small things, you know, it's smaller things like as it pertains to kids, as it pertains to like household stuff. Like,
So
you know,
what if it's a major disagreement and you guys just can't come to terms? What do you do then at that point? But the whole relationship, let's say, is good, but this is just something that happened, and you guys can't come to a common ground. I feel how I feel, you feel how you feel. What do we do then?
You just let that go. That's you at that point.
Agree to disagree.
You gotta
agree
let it
to
go
disagree.
because you're gonna put yourself in a circle. Keep going back to
and
something
it
that you can't
depends.
fix.
It depends on what it is too. Because if it's regarding money, say something money, that's going to be a reoccurring thing, right? So you have to sit down and you have to resolve it, right? I'm very good. I work for lawyers, right? My goal, my ambition one day is to be a lawyer. So my mom said since I was a little kid, I should be a lawyer, like, because I was literally debating and arguing with them as a young kid,
Or
right?
you will be with somebody.
Yeah,
It'll
so-
turn to a debate.
So if I'm with someone, I'm already like lining them up. If I have to,
I mean, he already has the facts mapped out. He already has
Right.
this and that.
But
Listen.
but
So when I said, this is why I said this, because such and such didn't add up with point A and point B. So
Y'all
this
see my
comes
face
to a
right now?
conclusion of
Listen.
This is where we're going to draw the line. This is what it's going to be because when I mapped it out, this is what you said.
Okay,
At
so
this
Yeah,
time.
he be on you like that. And that's even in friendship.
yeah, that's even in friendship,
Yeah.
right? That's even in friendship.
We be
But-
pulling out stats. I'm like, man, hold on. It's the only guy I got to do stats with.
Listen.
We,
But I want to say this though, because in a relationship with someone, you have to always be cognizant of where they are, and I shared that last week. In my relationship, I am very liberal. You know, women tend when y'all get comfortable, it's a whole nother thing for y'all. Y'all get possessive when y'all get comfortable. I don't want you hanging out with this one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
be checking
Nah.
in. How many drinks did you have today? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Why did you do this today?
Like,
Why did you do
rude,
that today?
yeah.
And then we don't
we
question
got a
nothing
question.
you do.
We
don't
got a question.
So no, someone did say the same thing, agree to disagree.
Right.
When the question was, when you can't agree on something, how do you compromise? And Willie answered by agreeing to disagree what we just said.
Yeah.
So it's definitely coming to a close. It's been fun kicking it with these fellas here today. It's been amazing, and we are so excited for everybody that joined in and tuned in with us today. Again, I'm your girl, Raisha the Finisher. You have Shedrick Johnson right here to my right, and
What
then
up,
to my
yo?
left, you have Chevy Vandyke. If you want to look for them on Facebook, it's been amazing. At the end of the day, when it comes to relationships and when it comes to dating, everybody has their own perspective on what works for them. Do what works for you. Just make sure you stay true to yourself. Make sure you stay true to the individual. Make sure you respect yourself and respect that other individual.
Yes.
At the end of the day, always be honest. Be upfront about what your goals are and expectations are in the relationship, and don't expect to get with somebody and change them, because that can't happen. Who they are is who they are, and if they are going to change and elevate, they're going to do that on their own terms.
So basically, just come to a common ground on when I meet this person, this is who they are. This is who they're presenting themselves to be. And after I've dated them and they still that same person, that's just what it is. So either accept it, understand it, or move on from it if it's not what you want. So at the end of the day, be happy with yourself. Be at peace with yourself. And understand that if there is something that you just are not satisfied with, if there is something that's draining you, and all of a sudden, because like we say, people change. You're constantly evolving. That's life. You should change. You shouldn't stay the same. But if you're involving and now you decide, I no longer want to do this, for my ladies, especially my young ladies that's watching, if you're with someone and you no longer want to be intimate with them, communicate that with them. And if they don't want to come to a common ground of understanding that, then respect yourself and do what you feel is best for you, even if it means dissolving the relationship. Because at the end of the day, if you've had a common revelation about something in your heart, then you want to follow your heart. And that's even with our young men out there, even with our men and our women. Whatever it is that you're feeling within yourself, if you feel strongly about it, then make sure you follow your heart. And just do it with respect and tell that person how you're feeling. And it may be hard because you may not want to dissolve the relationship, and this person may be like, oh, this is somebody that makes me happy, but this is more heavier on my spirit where I feel like it's weighing me down if I stay connected to you. Then you have to pray about it and make a decision that's best for you, and that's for both parties. So love, be happy, do what makes you happy, don't hurt nobody, keep it respectful, be loyal, be honest, and communicate.
Remember, sex is important, but you. But I wanted to say, but you are more important.
You are more important for sure.
And keep them bra straps clean.
Keep yourself clean overall. But be happy. Go and have a wonderful life dating and loving on each other, and do what's best for you. Love is beautiful, and we encourage love from all perspectives. Love who you love, and be happy, and be okay with it. And if you're not okay with it, figure out what you need to do to move on. But we love you all, and you kings and queens, we want you guys to have a wonderful Thursday night. Be sure to check in with us next Thursday. Toya the boss will be in the presence and in the atmosphere, okay? So you know when she comes on, it's going to be hot and fire, spicy and sweet. Okay? You're going to know what you're going to get. You don't know. But she will be back in effect next Thursday. So tune in. Tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your family to like the page, comment, go back and watch past episodes. If you have not saw all the episodes, go back and rewatch them. I'm sure it's something for everybody. And make sure that you tune in every Thursday and come have a conversation with us and keep it with us. We love talking to you. We love chilling with you. And we love having this hour of just straight dialogue. It's going to be hot. It's going to be fire. It's going to be spicy. But until next Thursday, we are out. And